Hey now, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Doc, and we're going to go over a question that was asked regarding GEX today, gamma exposure, and how it applies, or if it applied to Microsoft. And it did. And we're going to show you how it actually gave us some support and resistance rather than just the magnets that I always talk about or the attraction that you hear of GEX, right? So let's just real quick, the bookends of quantitative analysis in stocks, I call them the bookends because they're the parameters, right? Is the quant chart, right? You'll have the sell zone, the buy zone, action happens in between there. The GEX will be more along the lines of the magnets, where the highest liquidity is in the areas of attraction. Okay, so what we're going to do is something called not chat replay, bar replay. And it's like today didn't happen, or we're going to do it live. We'll do it live. So that's a 15-minute. I want to use the 5-minute because 5 minutes on a momentum trade, I think, really capture what the candle story is. So there's going to be some candlestick talk in here, right? So break out your textbooks and your I don't remember the names. Don't worry about it. So today didn't happen. Let's go to the tail of the tape, the gamma exposure suite, and here you have all the tickers that are available in the gamma exposure suite under QTA. And let's go back to yesterday. Yesterday with Microsoft, towards the end of the day, gave us some inkling, right? Because remember, even though this was May 14th, it's using the same expiration date, May 15th, that we're going to have today on May 15th. So what we're looking at is some positive GEX. There's some negative here. The max pain's a little lower. We closed right on where the absolute GEX is. So now let's open up our computers and get ready for the day. It's let's skip to 9:32. This is the first shot that we're going to get of the day of actual market data. 9:32. That's 2 minutes into the trading day. So not all the data is really, it's not really settled yet, right? We have absolute GEX still at 410. The highest GEX bar is right where it opened at 415. But we know we travel from there. So what's the big surprise here? 420, okay. There's a big call spike, a secondary. And this is actually the primary one. It's bigger than this one, I think. Now, this is going to be our first area of attraction. We have the lower GEX bar, sure, but the increasing call volume, it kind of piques my interest. Now, there's no reason for it to move there, but we're going to see some reasoning layered in. So the next one that really has the meat and potatoes of the day is 9:48 in the morning. Now the market data is really settling in. The absolute GEX has jumped from 410 to 420. So this is the first strike of the day of high GEX and high liquidity and high call volume, all confluent at the same strike. Keep that in mind, 420. In fact, let's mark it. So we take any random line. I have plenty of them. We'll mark that off at 420, right? And we come back here, and let's move forward in time. So now we have this area of attraction in going on, and let's see how this. We're gonna play this out. We know what happens, but we're gonna just play it out so we're on the same page as the snapshot and the replay here. This is my first time doing it. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now we've passed it. I let it run too much. Sorry. Can we back it up? No. Okay. So anyway, we had this attraction to it. We kind of ran into a little bit of its support. It's telling us that's where support is. So you know what? We'll make in the line. If it tells you that's where, resistance. Sorry. If it tells you that's where resistance is, don't ignore it. It told you once. It told you twice. Don't ignore it. But we still haven't reached that 420. We went a little further ahead. I think we're up to 11 a.m. So let's catch up on the tail of the tape. Now, keep in mind, when we first looked at our area of high liquidity, this is 9:48. We had 420 confluent area, perfect. We are not going to ignore this 425 and 430. They're very small, right? And anyone looking at this would make a case like 420, this is an attraction, and it's also resistance. Well, keep in mind, on a trend day or any type of movement, if we're moving 5 places, 5 points to our area of high liquidity, people are going to get momentum behind. And that's the idea of momentum. That's the whole, definition of it. Momentum. So these are not to be ignored, but they're just not of interest as of yet. So as the price action moves up to that area of high liquidity, and then once we reach it, 425 is increasing. Now we're getting a little bit of a call volume there. 430 is nothing to really look at just yet. Now 1048. Now we're talking something, right? Now we're talking something. 425 is there. 430 is increasing. Call volume is still eking out, but 425 is really making a case of something to be there. Now we go further and head 430 is high GEX screaming. It's there. It's 430, not to be ignored. The price action has moved very swiftly to the 425 area. Absolute GEX is bouncing around. It's going back and forth to high liquidity and whatever, but now we're following the GEX. Boom, 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 right? Nice line up. If we were to stop here and just say that where the day is going to be headed, it's easy to make a case that we're going to go past this and right up towards 430. Now, 429 is here. This is an area of resistance going back. There's one day there, and there's a few more days here. Look, resistance. It's not to be ignored. This is where it broke it, and it failed, and it opened up below it. So this is something of a hard resistance, right? I made it a red line for a reason. So we're going to leave that there because those are obstacles in the way of GEX. Imagine if you have a dog and he's across the yard and you're calling for your dog. Come on, Jack. Let's go, Jack. The dog can easily run straight to you unless, there's some funny business going on and they put obstacles in front of it. That's the same idea when you're talking GEX and you're talking obstacles. The obstacles being resistance, being hard technical levels, or quant levels, right? Our quant levels, I refer to them as bookends, right? It's the area of which it's the walls of the sandbox, and the GEX are the magnets within those bookends, or you're the owner calling their dog to the other side of the yard. It's going to be a little difficult to just go straight to that GEX when you're already in the sell zone of almost asking to come back down to reality, come back to the mean, come back. So just the same case when we go down to the buy zone, 1 tap, 2 tap, gone. So when we get into the sell zone, we're going to start thinking about going back down. It's like a signal, right? So as this plays out, remember, we had this 420. We're not going to ignore that just because we passed it. That 420, it's still a high area of liquidity. Absolute GEX is there. It's got a pretty healthy GEX, and it's got the most call volume. So as we travel up to this, we can expect to hit this resistance, and then that'll be brick wall time because look at the previous times we hit it, right? So let's play this out and see what happens. We come back down to the absolute GEX. We find support there. We make a new support based on this resistance, and we travel up there. Let's back up for a second. Now, as we came up here, we had some candlestick action happening. This one here is letting us know that maybe start thinking that the trend might be falling apart. These are indecision candles. This is decision one way, decision another way, indecision. Okay, I'll make a decision for you. And it just drops down. We find support again at that high area of liquidity, that call volume. Do not sleep on the call volume. Call volume spikes and put volume spikes, in my experience, have been very good support and resistance zones. I mean, levels, specifically levels, not even a zone, specific. But now that we're in this trend day and we found support here, it's giving us another shot to go higher. And if we go along in the tail of the tape here, 425 is now super call volume heavy, and 430 is an area of high GEX and high volume. This more GEX at 430, it didn't want to go away, right? Although we're not going to look beyond 430 like we did at 425. And why is that? Because it looks, even here, this was the same height as 430 was in the beginning. So why am I not thinking that this is going to magically, do a magic mushroom, grow and become important? It's because that high resistance zone, it's a Friday. People are not going to, do high voluminous trade to beat a resistance. It's very unlikely. It's more unlikely than in the morning seeing something like that set up. So this is our area of get out, right? We're not gonna hold our breath for 435, even though it's marked off. That's previous resistance. So what's happening here? Let's borrow another line. Technical analysis is something that will always be fascinating to me, right? So when it came up here, it let us know this is an area of contention or actionable area. You can apparently make a line here, make a line here. It's a bit of a zone. We revisit that zone. In fact, let's do it properly. Okay. We reach this zone. We dance around a little bit and we fail. We come back up. We dance around a little bit. Instead of failing, we hold this time and go higher. Now, if this had been a Tuesday or a Monday or even a Thursday, and we're entering into power hour, right? So right now at this point where it's 13:55, which is this is about 2 o'clock. We're going to enter the last 2 hours of trading on a Friday in May. There's not many institutions or even serious independent traders who are going to try and make a stand here. So this is why it just kind of collapses afterwards. But where does it collapse back to, right? Not just anywhere. It comes back, don't forget, of our absolute GEX. It was dances around, but it stays. This is the 430. That's what brought it up. It goes back to our original area. It drops down to 425, 425. It starts to drop. Now, GEX on a Friday, the last in the afternoon, is not your most trusted data set because it comes from the options table, and humans and market makers and hope and dreams come from the options table, right? Technical analysis comes from technical analysis. Same thing with math. Cold hard math is what creates the options table. And we'll refresh this actually. And as we refresh it, we'll see what happens to the price action, right? We drive up into the sell zone. It gets uncomfortable. It spits it back out, running into the VWAP for the day. And we'll turn it on here and show you. So the VWAP of the day supported the first run, bounce high. It didn't even need to make it there because of the momentum of the trade and the high GEX there. Super bounce, good to go. But now it'll make sense as we drift off into like the last couple hours of this is a monthly expiration too, right? A monthly expiration Friday on a beautiful day in May. We come back and we end right at VWAP and our 420, which was the highest GEX of the day, the highest area of liquidity for the day. So all tied up in a nice ribbon and a nice bow. But what does that mean? Does GEX tell us where support and resistance levels are? Sure. Absolutely. They tell us two things. They can tell us where the support and resistance levels are. This is not a good example. That's the end of the day. They can tell us where they're going to be and where to look out for magnets. Like magnet here, 430, high GEX, absolute GEX, low call volume. A super magnet and it's not a super resistance, but if you couple the other areas that it's in the quantitative sell zone, only like 7% of the action happens above it. It's got a hard resistance that has been shown a few times recently right here. And then even going back to when Microsoft came down on it, it found that as an area of break it, retest it to go down further. I mean, talk about confirmation of a level. So we're not going to die on that hill on a Friday. That's my point. So the distinction between GEX and support levels is, first of all, use them together, right? There's no reason just to trade support and resistance using GEX. But if you use the levels together, use the false and the levels together. I forgot to mention that in the movie the first time, but use them together. If you use them together, you get confluence. And that's the name of the game. That's the whole name of the game, is using two or more data sets to come up with one singular or confluent data, right? Two rivers going into one. That means confluence. That's the definition of it. So I hope this clears some things up. And it wasn't out of nowhere that these levels were there. These GEX levels, they come from human behavior. They come from the options table. They come from the market makers trying to catch up and hedge and keep our markets liquid. And we're here to see that. And how Brian calls it the X-ray specs of the market. That's what you're looking at right here. You're looking at where the price wants to go. Whether it goes there or not, that's the fun of it. All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. If there are any questions, feel free to comment, or you can join me in Enthusiast Chat right here. It's open to the public. And I post little snippets on how to get used to using QTA. So if you're not a member, get in here, get used to seeing this, and then join. Or join, and then you tell us how you use it. That would be, either way is great. So thanks a lot for joining me, and I'll see you guys around the chat rooms. Take care.